Namaste. Welcome. Welcome, beautiful souls. It's Tuesday. It's time for live readings. And for those of you that have been watching my channel, I've been doing a lot of videos on the Wildwood Tarot. And so I have lots in store still with this deck. I am so happy to be revisiting this deck, to working with this deck on a daily basis. And there's nothing like getting to know a deck intimately. And as I prepare these videos for you, as I do my own readings, as I explore some of the journeys, meditation practices, path work that's suggested in the back of many of these guidebooks, it's just really beautiful. And so today I thought I would share with you the spread that is called The Well at the End of the World. And I think the presumption with this deck, hello there, Danielle, Woven Pixel, and I'm not sure if Andrew's back or not. I think the presumption, the assumption with this spread is that our happiness is always there. And I should read to you what I believe Mark said at the back of this book. It's kind of beautiful. In folktale, seekers often go in search of the well at the world's end to find nurturing or healing. This sometimes means emptying something out before filling up with all the goodness that is suddenly available. This whole process is something that I'm always talking about. The journey, there's so many questions about love readings, about romance, about relationships, as well as career and next steps and moving forward on the journey. And the thing is that if we continue to fill our mind, to clutter our mind, to clutter our emotions, to clutter our agendas, calendars, journals, and not release and let go on a regular basis, it's really hard to find that fulfillment. And so I think that this spread is about that. The spread acknowledges your happiness, your joy. It's right there. It's right there. And so in this spread, we use the Ten of Cups as the significator. We use the Ten of Cups as the significator. And then the card on the left is the card, the vessel that you must empty. Well, you don't have to. It's entirely up to you. But it's your message from Spirit. It's something that you would benefit from releasing at this time. And so there's a lot of language around this. And one of the things it's really important too, if you're doing yoga and breath work, is that you find your word. Some people are not comfortable with let go. It's hard. Surrender is another one people don't like. And so your language around this in your mother tongue, in English, there's a lot of nuances that you can breathe into. This is the exhale breath. All right, so what we release is the exhale. What we take in, how we nourish and embrace the next step is the inhale. And so what is your word around letting go? Is it release? And so the reason for this word is that each and every time you exhale, there's an opportunity to do this. And then the other question that I want to put up there is, all right, so we find in this position over here what it is that Spirit's encouraging us to let go of. But how do we transmute that? right? We don't want to just take the piece of paper and throw it out into the yard. We need to burn it or bury it, right? The energy needs to transform. And so that's a process in itself. And I think that's one of the reasons that ritual and practice can be really, really helpful. All right. And then on the other side, the filling up part. Now, this is where we all need to really just lean into trust. And this medicine might not be the medicine that we that we think we need, right? We don't always receive or hear or it's a little bit like that adage, be careful what you wish for. If you ask for healing, what you interpret as healing might not be what the bigger picture is. So yeah. So very simple spread. And I do have some oracle decks on the table as well too. And I'll get a couple of those ready. And then we'll start with Mr. Andrew. Thank you very much for the super chat. And so the oracle decks I have on the table today are Animal Spirit, Shamanic Healing. I have one more as well too. I was hanging in front of my oracle cupboard. It's like, what do I pick? What do I pick? And then I chose this one as well too. This one's called Power Animals, as you can read. If you haven't seen this deck, don't see it featured very much. It looks really nice with this deck. It has lots of white space on it, and then there's a message right on the deck, much like the animal deck we used last week. It's really beautiful. And so part of the process of choosing decks is to choose decks that frequency matches the tarot deck. Which is something I talk about in my deck pairing videos. I'm sure you've seen a couple of those. Okay. So Power Animals, Animal Spirit, which is the Kim Kranz Animal Spirit deck, this one. And Shamanic Healing, which is Michelle Motuzis' deck, this one. So as I'm going through your reading, if you want to post in the chat which oracle deck you would like me to pull a card from, you can do that. Otherwise, I'll just choose it myself. And one shuffle of this one, and then I'll be good to go. Hello, Diana. Welcome. Elena, hello, hello. I will repeat the name of the decks in case any of you missed them. So we're working with the Wildwood Tarot, and then I have 3 oracle decks on the table. They are the empathic, not the empathic, Shamanic Healing, excuse me, Shamanic Healing, Animal Spirit, and Power Animals. Okay, so I will do a power animal for you, Andrew. Okay. So I invite you to take a deep breath. Close your eyes, put your feet on the floor. I just love the whole metaphor of journeying to the end of the world, to the well, where we offer and we let go of what we no longer need, and it's there at this place of fulfillment that we fill up. And so what I might also offer is that you actually get a couple of glasses and put some containers in front of you, and to pour your water, to actually empty a vessel and then to fill up a vessel. That might be something really beautiful to do. Sometimes if we do the practice in a three-dimensional way, it can really it can help. Okay. So what does well-tempered Claire Andrew, what would well-tempered Claire Andrew benefit from releasing? And Spirit, please guide Andrew into the most fulfilling way to fill this cup at this time. Okay. Okay, two big players, Andrew. Two big players. I'm drawn to the light in the sun and the Ouroboros, the northern lights behind the polar bear. And there's something about balancing of energy here that seems very, very important. And so when I see the sun in the release position, it's a releasing of the doing. It's the releasing of the control. It's the releasing of the, and I know you're doing a lot of spiritual work. So just really kind of consider the power and the peace in letting go of the needing to know. It feels very much like an egoic kind of release, completely stepping into trust. The filling up component, it's like with this whole process, the happiness, the joy, the ecstasy cannot be found. The polar bear cannot step forward and leave its den until it completely trusts. Completely. And this is a really beautiful, I'm just getting shivers, chills, just the fact that these are sequential cards. This is a big shift, major shift for you, Andrew. Major shift. Okay. And the message from the power animals. I love the backs of these cards. They're so beautiful. So it's a soft green, sage green, leafy pattern. It's the pike. It feels like a really, I don't know the history of this fish, like really old, like prehistoric kind of energy. The pike will help you to overcome your past. And so I also am aware that there's a child. You associate this card as well too with child, maybe child patterns, inner child patterns, which is part of the journey that you're going through at this time. And so I'm sure you've already brought that in as well too. And so the pike really reverberates that message with that ancestral and maybe even older ancestral connection than you are aware of. Yeah, beautiful. All right. So thank you. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, where are we at? Okay, so we're at Miss Elena. So Miss Elena, just really embrace this opportunity. Embrace this opportunity to feel a little bit lighter, there's some beauty in that, isn't there? You know, to feel lighter emotionally, mentally, spiritually. So that we can really feel the beauty, the joy here. And Elena, you can go ahead and let me know which oracle deck you'd like me to use. The Power Animal, Kim Kranz's Animal Spirit, or Michelle's Shamanic Healing book. All right, this reading is for Elena Butorova. Please guide her into the next phase of letting go. And energetically, where does she need to fill her cup? How does she need to fill her cup? With what does she need to fill her cup? To be everything to everybody. To be everything to everybody. To be the mom, to be the dad. It's kind of perfect that I chose this for Pisces season, hey? Yeah. I don't know if this resonates, Elena, but to be everything to everybody, you don't need to do that. So surrender. Howl to the moon. The moon is still very, very full. And let it go. I almost feel like that's a direct message, you know, like your form of release is releasing it to the moon. Mama Kia, Chandra, whatever name you know her by, Grandmother Moon. Yeah, kind of beautiful. Good morning, Anna. Hello to Kristen as well. Okay, so Elena, would you, oh, I guess we need to do this one too. Let me know which deck wow. So Elena, these king and king. So what I'm seeing here is that there is, it's not letting go of being a leader. It's not letting go of being a parent. It's not letting go of that. It's about the precision, there's an exactness with the King of Arrows. The King of Arrows surveys, right? Surveys the land and looks from a big picture, and then very doesn't waste energy. So what I'm picking up on here is there's a lot of energy expended in the caretaking. And this is more than caretaking. This is doing everything for everybody. And what the filling up component feels to me like is to be more selective in what it is you choose to assist people with, right? Still in a leadership role, still an overseer, still very much a protector, part of the family, part of the organization, but much less wasted energy. Much less wasted energy. Okay, so I'm going to go to shamanic healing. You are making a choice in love at the moment. Okay, does that make sense about being more respectful of your time, energy, thought? Okay. And this is your season, right? This is your season. You go. The King of Arrows is very much alive in this season. And if you are in the Northern Hemisphere, that is. I'm assuming by your last name that you are, but I could be wrong. Okay. And just to clarify. Wow, it doesn't get any more clear than this. The key word is discernment. So this is, yeah, there's nothing really to say, Alina. So I would write this word down. And maybe make a list of a few things that at this time you are choosing to not look after, that you're willing to delegate and to actually do that. Wow, that's kind of amazing. Wow. Oh, it's kind of amazing. Okay. All right, so let's go on to the next person. Do you know, any of you in the chat, have you ever been to, I'm sure you've all been to some magnificent falls. Falls are just such a beautiful place of healing energy. All right, so let's go to Donna. Donna. So as you begin your journey to the well at the end of the world, I guess part of this process is the willingness, the readiness to let something go. And then, I just got another chill. The other thing I would suggest is that if you're watching, you're watching this today, or maybe you're watching this 6 months from now, maybe the message is to actually, fill up your backpack, fill up your rucksack, and to go on that hike to the falls. And maybe there's an offering, maybe there's something that you want to place at the falls as an exchange of energy. I know that's something that's important to me when I do this kind of work. You can leave a crystal, you can leave a rock that you've picked up somewhere else. You could take some tobacco, lavender. Feels more like lavender to me, right? It's very, very feminine energy. All right, so this reading is for Donna. Donna. I should have posted, I have a photo of me 3 years ago in Hana and standing underneath a waterfall with my arms raised up in the sun streaming down through the waterfall. It was the most magnificent experience. It's not a great photo, but it was extraordinary. So this is for Donna. Donna, if you'd like to choose the Oracle deck, let me know. You can just type that into the chat. Okay. Sometimes this is not made super easy for me. Okay. I spoke about this card earlier today, so it's very, very fresh in my mind. The Weaver. The Weaver does not care if you make your cloak green or blue or orange. The Weaver does not care if your cloak is loose-fitting or your cloak is tight. You have the tools, you have the resources to make the cloak however you want. And so with the card in this position, I'm feeling some judgment, self-judgment. I'm feeling perhaps a resistance to change, or some anger towards change, or some frustration with the process of the wheel itself. And so this feels like it could be a huge, huge weight off your shoulders. This is an enormous card to let go of. This is one of, I would say, one of the biggest cards that somebody could get in this position. To release the false illusion that we are in control. And to learn to go with the flow, to be in the flow, to really embrace the movement of energy as it is, whenever it is. Oh my goodness, we're getting some really big readings today. Okay. So this makes perfect sense, Donna. So this feels like what I just said. And then here we have the Death card. The journey. Carrie Mallon did it was hilarious Instagram post. She's the creator of the Spacious Tarot, just the other day, maybe yesterday. And the truth about the Death card is we actually need to let something die. Like something has to really die. It has to be burned, buried. And so the process, this feels big. I'm sorry. Can I say I'm sorry? I'm not sorry. Like Andrew's reading, your reading, these are big, big steps on your journey. And they can be a little overwhelming in this particular season. Okay. You also have moon, a lot of moon energy here as well too. So this process maybe something that you want to do at night. So the filling up the cup. So how do we fill up our cup with death? How do we fill up our cup with the process, with being on the journey? And I think on either side of the 10 of vessels, we have a very similar message, right? So we let go of the need to control, and we just step into the path. We step into the process. Wow. And then I want to look at the art as well too, fill yourself up with moon energy, fill yourself up, embrace shadow work, embrace the challenging parts of your journey. Take the issues, take the patterns right down to the bone. This is about going far, far beyond the surface, right? Far beyond the surface. Retreat is the key word. Look at how the birds are facing each other. The message here I'm picking up on is one of more silence, more space, more self-care, daily time on your own, permission, permission for you to be on the journey. One of the gifts that I've intended but haven't given to myself, and I don't know how or when, but I would love to put into my calendar, is every week to have 24 hours of silence. 24 hours of no talking, no listening, no social media. And it can be writing with a pen, can be reading. One of my teachers who does this, she just, her dog, when she walks with her dog, she just claps her hands or does something. It's possible. It's possible. And I'm just saying this and reflecting on your reading here. Something like that would feel really, really good. Even 6 hours a day, a couple times a week. Yeah. Welcome, kitty cat. Oh, Donna. That can be really challenging. So is that okay if I speak to that, Donna? Because, well, I mean, you're a wise soul. So, this is part of the journey, right? The part of the journey is letting go of big things. And sometimes friendships have to die. They run their course. Sometimes marriages run their course, Whew. That calls for a glass sip of water or a gulp of water. I didn't see this. I didn't see that earlier, Donna, but I think it applies just so well. Oh, isn't that interesting, Elena? Amsterdam. Oh, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that with me. All righty. So where are we at? Who is next? You can do that anytime, Elena. If you, go to the shop and you can just book a reading and then we'll set up a time. All right. Did I say hi to Kitty Cat? All right, let's go to Anna. And if I missed anybody before Anna, just let me know. If you want to close your eyes, Anna, take some deep breaths. Feel your feet on the floor. Imagine yourself walking to this beautiful place, the well at the end of the world, the place where we can let go and fill up. This reading is for Anna Smith. Some guidance, please, as to what would serve to be released and where the nourishment is needed. In what way does the cup need to be filled? Wow. Wow. You are all doing some big work. Big work. Okay, so there's a few things that I'm picking up on here. One is the release of the present cycle. The present cycle is coming to an end. And if there's any fear around that, if there's any, I know this isn't the world card, right? This is the card before that. But I'm just kind of looking at the whole picture here because the wheel is over here. And so this feels like an invitation to step to the next thing. Do you see where I'm going with this? So the happiness is in the next project. The happiness is in the next step. The happiness, the joy, the fulfillment, the ecstasy is in allowing the wheel to turn. And while everything that is going on presently is incredibly transformational, it's coming to a close. Mm-hmm. Which oracle deck would you like me to choose, Anna? I just want to read this one sentence. This is from the main guidebook. The only thing in life that is assured is that if you wait long enough, it will change. How you survive that change and who you are after it is up to you. The assessment, if you will, the judgment aspect of this the judgment aspect of this, it's ready to go. It's ready to go on its way. Okay, shamanic healing. Hello, Miss Amber. All right. What else do we need to know about this change for Anna Smith? That's so funny. It just confirms, Anna. It just confirms that this is exactly what you need to do. Okay. Oh, kind of beautiful. Kind of beautiful. Okay. Is there anyone else that would like a reading today? With this spread, that is. My next step, besides the videos I will continue to do exploring this deck, is to do the recordings. I want to record the meditations that are in the two guidebooks, and I started to do it, and I just need to. I've figured it out. I just need to do the recordings now. Diana? Okay, excellent. You're welcome, Anna. All right. Take a few deep breaths, Diana. This is big work, hey? Big work. And those of you that have stepped forward, this is very, very brave. Diana, what is in Diana's highest interest to release at this time? And in what way would she benefit from filling up? How does she fill her cup? The King of Arrows, as you're aware, is very much a mind connection. In this particular deck, there is definitely a more balanced energy than in any other tarot deck because of the particular creature that the King of Arrows is. The fact that it's an animal of the air, that it gets its food from the water, that it rests on the land. You know, it's a balanced, very strong archetype. But I'm sensing some exhaustion here. I feel tired of thinking, tired of being in the mind, tired of wanting to know, perhaps tired of investigating. There's some peace of mind, this joy, this ecstasy, this beauty is like a big exhale breath. And it feels like this air, this enormous breath of air that the King of Arrows represents is exactly what you need to do. It's like letting go of the need to know. Letting go of the need to know. The filling up component. So this feels like the thinking part. This feels like the more practical, integrated part. So it's almost as if you've been planning something for a long time, like planning. And what the filling up part is actually stepping forth and signing the contract. You know, it's like this one says the foundation of life. This also represents the shape of the arrow. So the shape of the arrow takes on a new form in this suit. So the arrow is the Ace of Stones here. It's like permission to move to this next step, this next stage. And we've had very similar, slightly nuanced, different kinds of messages here. But the Ace of Stones, the foundation of life, it's like it's grounded, right? You're no longer in the air. You actually have your feet on the ground, and now you're stepping forth and feeling that connection. You're not so alone. You're embracing the connection. And in this particular card, you know, we acknowledge the connection of the roots below the trees, the beautiful archway here of the trees behind. Sorry, I just knocked my whole computer over. Okay, so I think what I'm seeing more here is an aloneness and a connectedness. Alone, connected. Release being alone. Embrace being connected and stepping forward. So part of that is at the very beginning today when I signed on, I was talking about the tools, the resources we need to make these transformations. Practices, rituals. I talked about letting go of something in the moon, or actually going to the waterfall and energetically releasing it, or burning something. I no longer need to be alone. I can and I will and I am willing to step out of my mind, put my feet on the ground, feel my feet on the ground, and step forward in a new way, in a more connected way. Diana, did you pick your Oracle deck? This one is a little more nuanced than the previous readings. And so there may be something very specific going on in your life that we don't know about, you know, that this is speaking to. The other thing that I'm thinking too is that exhaustion is often related to dehydration or adrenal fatigue. And a lot of that can be nourished through connection, through a more grounded experience. All right, I'm shuffling the shamanic healing oracle for you, Diana. Nora, hello. I didn't see you come in. All right, so in what way can we clarify or confirm this message for Diana? There's this really a beautiful practice where we get more intentional about signs and symbols and omens. And if this feels very specific to you, it goes something like this, that you say to yourself, if I am to sign a contract for this job, let me see an owl in the next 24 hours. Now, this is presuming that you don't live in an owlry, right? This is a sign that would not regularly appear. Where I am, I see owls infrequently, but they are around. You know, if I was to say, when I go out for my walk with Amber tonight to see 4 deer, well, that is pretty normal. So that's not a sign that I would ask for. So with signs, symbols, omens, you can ask for it more specifically. If over the next week I see 3 rainbows, I know, and you don't live in Hawaii, I know that I'm moving in the right direction. So this card feels like a practice. It feels like a practical advice for you. That's what it feels like to me. And perhaps you have a connection with the owl. But it doesn't necessarily have to be the owl. You choose the sign, the symbol that speaks to you. Okay. And let's pull a power animal for Diana. And then maybe that will give us an idea about an animal either in your dreams or in this dimension that has a message for you. Cow. It's a message of being grateful. It's a message of being grateful for all that you have. All right, so there we are. I suppose I could do one more. If there's anybody in the chat, anybody else that would. Did I miss anyone? It's a very, very pretty deck, very spacious. Okay. So Christiana and Kristen, you can play rock, paper, scissors. So, oh, why don't we do that? Hi, Dory. That's so funny. I was just thinking you could play rock, paper, scissors in the chat, right? So Kristen or Christiana, you type rock, paper, scissors. Assuming you know which game I'm talking about. You don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. Oh, paper covers rock. All right, Christiana. So Christiana, I'll do this reading for you, and then we'll pull a power animal with the intention of a connection to your spirit animal. All right, this is a reading of letting go and release for Christiana. And this will be the final reading for today. And Kristen, while I have you here, I hope that my comment about the laughing emoji was taken the right way. Not laughing at you, but with you. How, the tendency, and I talked about this in the last video, I know you heard in the last video, the tendency for everybody, the question that Kristen posed was one of memorizing the meanings of the cards and how challenging that is, and how rote memory is such an awkward way to learn. And I said, is it okay to post a laughing emoji? And the reason I wanted to post that was because everybody struggles with this. So many people struggle with this. It's so hard to remember what this card is supposed to mean, or this symbol, or what if there's a white feather or a green feather, or what if the pomegranates are in a V shape, or what if the pomegranates are not open, or, it's like, it's so much to remember. And so that's why I wanted to laugh. I think it's important to have a sense of humor through this tarot journey. Yeah. Andante. Take your time. I know that doesn't really answer your question on techniques and stuff. But I was serious when I said, put a card in your pocket. Like if you have a shirt with a pocket, I've actually done that. Like I've carried a card around for the whole day and kept looking at it. I know like Jen puts them on her phone and stuff like that, but I try not to look at my phone frequently during the day. All right, so this is for Christiana. Christiana, what would be in Christiana's highest interest to let go of, and where would she benefit from filling up? Whoa, this is interesting. Okay, so both of these animals sit at the equinox. So both of these animals reflect the balance of time. If you're not aware of this deck, there's timing associations with it. So I just think that's really interesting, that there's a sense of balance in this. And what I'm feeling the letting go process is I'm tapping into that ancestral behavior, the ancestral behavior of the eel, and also, okay, so I'm getting something very, very specific, like there's an emotional journey there, or there has been an emotional journey, or there's an exhausting, long, winding, like look at the shape of the eel, right? An exhausting, arduous, emotional journey that you would benefit from letting go of. The happiness, the joy, your happiness can't be experienced until that is released. Good question, Andrew. I'll ask her that in a minute. Okay, so the filling up of the cup. The filling up. So divine feminine energy. There's a lightness, there's a sweetness, there's a song, there's sugar in the tea. There is gentleness. It's so much lighter. It's so much lighter. It's like the joy and the freedom is found through the release of the emotional, the ongoing emotional. Are you connecting with this at all? That is very, and also you see the position of the swan. So the swan is moving forward, going ahead, moving to the right. Queen of Arrows, swans, filling up with her breath, filling up with her beauty, filling up with her confidence, filling up with her confidence, filling up with her trusting her wisdom. It may be that the emotional journey has drained you a lot. Okay, I'm shuffling the power animal. There's a lot, right? I mean, I know this card is here in everybody's reading. There's a lot of water here, a lot. And so the shifting of the perspective of the, so how about this? Whoa, this is kind of interesting. So if this one represents the subconscious, right? What is below the water? I know we can see the eel in this picture. This represents what is above the water. And so the resolution, the peace, the joy, the processing, the integration of the reason that you were going through this will come to light once you let it go. And you'll find the beauty in its lesson once you let it go. I do have one more comment about patience with the reading. I'm just going to pull a power animal for Christiana. The chickadee. The chickadee will help you to live your inner child. There's something really beautiful here in that we have 3 stages of life kind of pictured here. And the thing that I like about this chickadee message is that it also, in letting that little girl, that little Christina, the joy, the happiness that you felt as a child start to come back to the surface, giving yourself permission to embrace that little chickadee exactly as she is will help a lot. Something quite beautiful there. Okay. So there's one more thing that I want to say about there's one more thing that I wanted to say about patience with readings and so forth. And I think it's important for me just to share this. So on Jilly's channel, Jonathan was doing a spread last weekend. Was that please tell me that was last weekend and not 2 weekends ago. It might have been 2 weekends ago. I'm not sure. Somebody can let me know in the chat. And it was a past life spread. And I came onto the chat late and I was shuffling the Marielle Tarot and pulled some cards. And the spread was the cards that came up took me to previous readings, different connections that I have. And I just want you to know that this reading it's still here on my reading table. I'm still looking at it. I'm still digesting it. So yes, I'll get to, good. Thank you for that reminder, Andrew. So my point is that don't be in a hurry to write out your reading or to read your reading. You know, so if there's a challenging card, maybe you want to go reference a book, you want to look at it, you want to reflect on it, but don't put it away. You know, if you can tell it's something big, just let it there, let it sit there and let it percolate. Okay. So Andrew's question relates to the Wildwood Tarot in general. And we have, over a series of videos, walked through the 4 suits. The suit of arrows refers to the spring from Emulk to Beltane. And the suit of bows, the suit of fire from Beltane to Lammas. And then from Lammas to Samhain is the suit of vessels, the suit of water. And then from Samhain back to Emulk is the suit of stones. And so Andrew's question is, which suit correlates with ancestors and those deep connections? And I completely understand why Kristen says pentacles, right? Because all of the energy, all of the wisdom gets embodied in that final suit, right? You've been around the whole wheel. You get to the fourth position on the wheel, which is the suit of stones. Everything becomes integrated. We understand the connections, like the Ace of Stones we saw in one of your readings today. It really helps us to understand how embodied and grounded and connected that suit is. The other suit that might have some ancestral wisdom would be the one where the overseer is the world tree. And so the world tree is the suit of bows, the suit of fire. And there may be something in that suit that connects you just because of the world tree, that world tree energy overseeing that suit. And the world tree is a portal. The world tree is a portal into other worlds and opportunities to journey and path work. So yeah, I think both of those suits are going to give you some information if you're asking questions. And wouldn't that be interesting if you pulled out just one suit? What if you put down a major arcana significator card? What if you just pulled out a suit and worked with a particular suit? Or two suits? What if you just took out the pentacles and the fire and you just shuffled those? Right? The thing is, there's no rules. There's no rules in how you have to work with your tarot deck. You can work with it any way you want. Ah, really? You mean I can put the suit of cups and the suit of swords away? I don't have to use the suit of swords? No, you don't have to. You can read with it any way you want to read with it, especially if you're focusing on a specific question. Yeah. Play with your cards. Have fun with your cards. And maybe that's a way to get to know two suits really, really well, is just to work with two suits. And then work with the other two suits. There are no rules. Goodbye, Chris. Oh, hello, Ginger Faye. Welcome. I'm just signing off. Maybe I will see you tomorrow. Yeah, so people take out the minors and just use the majors. So why can't you just take out the majors and use the minors? And that's what we're going to do for 4 weeks. 4 weeks starting in the end of March. I'm going to walk you through that, and we're just going to play with the minors for 4 weeks. Yeah, and so if you want to do that together with me, make sure you sign up for the class. And we'll do some fun activities and kind of really get into the energy of some of the numbers and how to look at the numbers, the single numbers, the minors from a different light. Ginger Faye, where are you? Are you in the UK? I'm not sure where you are. So tomorrow, I will use many, many decks, Diana. So when I teach my classes, I use probably 3 to 5 decks per class. Some classes I focus on fewer, but I use many different decks. And this is not a Tarot de Marseille class. This is a class about strengthening your comfort with the minor arcana. Yeah. Sorry for the bad spelling. I didn't see any bad spelling. What did you spell badly, Anna? That must be a while back. I missed that. You're in South Carolina, so you're 3 hours different. Well, they're not there anymore. They moved. So 3 hours. Yeah, so 9 o'clock at night is late if my lives are at 6. Yeah. Oh, Lou instead of La. Diana. I will use some Marseille decks, but the idea is to just to get comfortable with minors. I will not be using heavily illustrated RWS decks. I will be using lightly illustrated RWS decks. And of course, we'll bring in a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Yeah. I know that doesn't really answer your question. Yeah. Okay, so thank you. Thank you for joining me today. And so what's coming up next is Thursday. I'm going to do we're going to look at the solstices in the Wildwood Tarot. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. in the Facebook group, we're going to do another spread. So if you're not a member of my Facebook group, the link for the Facebook group is in the description box below under Other Offerings by Sadhana. You're welcome to join us anytime. I go live every Wednesday in the Facebook group. And then Thursday night, my normal tarot chat, I have a list of tags. And I may do one of those. I may do a VR to Ethany. I've got lots of ideas, but I need to get that thumbnail up soon. So I will see you sometime very, very soon. Okay, stay well. Thanks for being here today. Namaste.